Who are the big free agents going to sign with? I have 10 of the biggest names that are left in free agency. Let's give our picks for where those guys will end up. So, the baseball free agent period, well underway. We've had some big names go, but some big names still on the board. So I'm going to go through the 10 biggest names that I think are left in free agency and give my picks for them. At number 10, because there have been actually quite a few signed, I think Chris Bassitt makes the list. I would love for him to stick with the Blue Jays and for Toronto to try to find a way to keep him around. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think he's going to want to get that starter money, and I think a team that could kind of use him is the Texas Rangers. They've had some injury issues at pitcher and could use someone to just eat up a bunch of innings for them. Bassitt can do that. He can do that effectively, and the Rangers are going to want to be competitive again here, I think. Making some big moves, obviously, so maybe they won't be, but they're going to need that starting pitching, and I think Bassitt fits what Texas is looking for quite well. Next, Eugenio Suarez. I have him going to the Red Sox, which probably tells you where I don't have Alex Bregman going. But Suarez, bit of a rough playoff, a couple of big hits, but certainly didn't have the big explosion off of an excellent regular season that he had. The Red Sox need a little bit more pop in that lineup. Suarez can provide that. So I have Eugenio Suarez coming into the American League East and signing with the Red Sox. Zach Gallen is my next one with the Astros. That's who I have him signing with. So again, tells you where I don't have Framber Valdez going. Gallen, I still think there's a there, maybe not to what it was before, but the Astros are going to need that front of the line guy. Can Gallen be just a straight line replacement for Valdez? Probably not, but I think he can still be effective enough in what is, again, going to be an Astro season of trying to retool and trying to catch up with the Seattle Mariners. So we'll see what direction they go, but I have Gallen going there. The next one is Munetaka Murakami, who is the big kind of pop hitter coming in from Japan. It felt like there was a lot of buzz about him, and then the story came out that he basically missed every pitch that went more than 90 miles an hour last season, and so I think there was a little bit of concern there. I wonder, given the Rendon of it all and everything, feels like the Angels might want to get back in that market and might need a little bit more pop in the lineup that they got rid of Ward, maybe looking for a bit of a spark there. So I have Murakami going to the Angels. They feel like the team that could kind of match some of the demands that prospect or that player, would have. One of the names that everyone north of the border is excited about, interested about, stressing about is Bo Bichette. And I have him going to the Toronto Blue Jays. I think Bo sticks with the Jays. That felt like a relationship that, like, him with the fan base, him with Vladdy and John Schneider as well, all of that felt like this is Bo's team. He is obviously seeing how the market plays out, telling people he would move to second base. That doesn't take him away from the Blue Jays, by the way. Jimenez could move to short just as easily, and they could still do it that way. There's a lot of different possibilities here for Bo Bichette to stick around with the Blue Jays, and so my pick is him staying in Toronto. Tetsuya Imai is the next one. I had him going to the Blue Jays right up until the Ponce move. And maybe that doesn't take them out. Like, maybe the Blue Jays are just stocking up on everything now. But the way he was talking about wanting to be competitive, wanting to go against the Dodgers and trying to beat them and all of that, maybe it's not like I'm going plucky underdog here, but I have him going to the Yankees. I think that Imai ends up with the Bronx Bombers. That they desperately need to make a move in that starting rotation. And we'll talk about the other ones in a second here. I don't see them making a whole lot of other big splashes right now. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong. But this feels like still the one that could kind of get the fan base back into it a little bit and kind of get them rolling in the right direction because they really need to at this time. Alex Bregman is the next one on the list. I have him going to the Detroit Tigers. Detroit making that run to back into the postseason after getting a scare from Cleveland toward the end of the year. I know that there's all the Tarek Skubal discussions going on there. I still don't think that trade actually happens. And I think that this is a lineup that needs that big game changer in the middle of it. Bregman showed that he could be that at times with Boston last year. He has a relationship with AJ Hinch. It all just kind of lines up. So I see Bregman going to the Tigers. Cody Bellinger, next on the list. This is kind of playing what we saw from a little bit ago, from last time Bellinger was available and all of that. I have him going to the Blue Jays. It's a bit of an out there thing, but Toronto, I think they're going to make the big splash bringing in Bo. Not that Bellinger is going to be cheap or anything like that, but it is probably a step down dollar amount from the big name at the end of this list. And so I think that is kind of the combination that the Blue Jays go with. It still improves the outfield spot. Lucas and Schneider, a fine platoon in the playoffs last year for Toronto, but Bellinger, excellent defensively, a good lefty bat for the top part of that lineup for the Blue Jays, and I think would make it a very, very dangerous Blue Jays team. He just seems to fit it really well. Haven't seen the Blue Jays tied to them a lot, so maybe this is just being the homer here. I will absolutely admit that. If it's not the Blue Jays, I could totally see him just going back to the Yankees. But right now, I'm going to say Toronto. Framber Valdez, I am going to the Orioles. Baltimore needs pitching. They just spent going out and get Shane Baz for a few prospects. Valdez, I think that incident with the catcher has really hurt the market on Valdez. That there was some talk about the Blue Jays maybe kicking the tires on that. I just feel like when you are a team that everyone is talking about winning a world or going to the Game 7 of the World Series based on the power of friendship, you can't bring in a dude who then threw at his catcher. So that is obviously an issue. And so maybe the Orioles don't want to bring that into a young clubhouse and have Adley Rutschman have to deal with that. But they need starting pitching, and he is the best that's available. So I think Valdez to the Orioles makes the sense. And then the last one, Kyle Tucker. Basically every sign is him to the Blue Jays right now, but like I said before, I think they keep Bo around, and it just prices them out a little bit of the Kyle Tucker market. All the moves the Mets have made point to this. The offseason hasn't been very good. It has been surprisingly a little on the cheaper side with some of the moves that they have made, some of the players that they have let go. With Nimmo leaving, bringing in Simeon, at second base, it leaves an obvious hole in the outfield. And I think it makes all the sense in the world that they just go out and overpay and bring in Kyle Tucker. It also, like, the Met fan is pissed right now at how things have gone down. So I think that you have to kind of correct that. I think that Steve Cohen and Mets ownership is aware of the Met fan reaction to everything. And so I think there is going to be a real push to make that move. So Kyle Tucker to the Mets is my prediction there. I can't imagine. I just went 10 for 10 on what you guys are thinking in terms of who goes where in baseball free agency. So let me know in either the chat here or in the comments what you think I got right and what you think I got wrong.